Hello and welcome. Kendra Morgan here for TLC Designs. Today I'm excited to introduce the second monthly sketch challenge. The online store has been updated with a product called the Sketch Easy Bundle number 102. This bundle includes one digital mini stamp set and one small coordinating paper pack for only $5. If you're not familiar with the TLC sketch challenges, you don't have to purchase the bundle to enter the challenge. There's two ways to win. If you use a TLC product of any sort, follow the sketch and post a photo of your card in the TLC Designs Creative Sharing group on Facebook. You would upload your photo under the TLC Designs Sketch Easy number 102 album, which is under Media, and you can enter to win a free digital stamp set of your choice from TLC Designs. Now, if you buy the bundle and use the digital products to enter the challenge, you can have a chance to win the grand prize, which is a free digital stamp set of your choice, plus a $10 gift certificate to the store. Anyone can play along and enjoy the sketch, but in order to win, you must use any TLC Designs product, including the freebies. Now for this second 30-day challenge, beginning September 1st of 2021, the bundle includes the Creeping It Real mini digital stamp set, which has this adorable illustration of a trick-or-treater dressed up as Frankenstein, along with a spider web, a spider, and bats in both black and white. The bundle also includes the Creeping It Real bundle digital paper pack, which has 6 different designs, and I'll show you those in just a moment. Now, the full-size Creeping It Real digital stamp set is also available for purchase in TLC Designs store, and it has a few more images, including Drake the Dracula. This is such a great Halloween set, and I just love all of the adorable images. Here is this month's sketch. It has a scalloped edge border strip along the seam of where the two papers come together, and a birthday cake embellishment, but you can use anything you'd like for either of these two pieces. The Celebrate frame and ribbon die sets are perfect to use with this, but if you don't have these, you can use something similar to create the look. But if you're interested in these die sets, they are available in the TLC Designs shop. These are the Creeping It Real digital images that I printed out. I made sure to make my Frankie image smaller than the rectangle piece, so I do have one on here that's a little too big, but I just think these are too adorable. There's sentiments on here that say just creeping it real, and a candy a day brings the monsters out to play, or monsters to play. And the one that's in the top right hand corner I'll be using for one card, and then the little Frankie image for another card. So here are the different papers that are in the bundle. I printed these off with my laser printer as well, and they are 5.5 by 8.5 inches. Now this Sketch Easy bundle is a great value because not only do you get a digital stamp set, but you also get this great set of digital papers. I'll put a link to the bundle in the description box below. But just remember, when you purchase the bundle, you get access to the files immediately, so you can get creative right away. And you have until September 30th to post your photos to be entered to win. And I wanted to quickly show you the other patterns that are in the full set of the Creeping It Real digital pattern paper. And these are awesome as well. So I'm going to be using the ones that come in the mini pack. Along with the Celebrate die set here, I'm just going to be using that middle rectangle piece. And to get started, I went ahead and cut out one of the smaller Frankie images. And let's get to coloring. So I'm using Copic marker YG17 to start. I'm just applying this all along the edges of his face and underneath his hairline. And then I'll be blending in with a lighter shade. The next shade is YG13. And I just kind of go back and forth between these two colors until they're blended well. And then the lightest shade I'll be using is YG11. Now for his hair, I'm using N9, which is a dark gray. It almost looks black. And I'm just using flicking motions to make it look like hair strands. And then I'll also be using this on his boots. And once I'm done with using this color, I'll be filling in what's left white with N4. For his jacket, I'm using BV17 to start. This is a dark bluish purple color and it matches the pattern paper perfectly. I'm just using this all along the edges of his jacket and anywhere there should be a shadow. And then next I'll be bringing in a lighter shade, which is BV13, and I just kind of go back and forth between these colors. Now for the patches on his elbows and for his shirt, I will be using BV, or not BV, but B28. And then I do bring in the lightest shade of those BV colors, BV11. But I just kind of go back and forth between these. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around here a little bit, but I wanted to bring in all of the colors that's in the paper and make sure that they were in my little Frankie image here. For the color on his hands, I'm using E30, and for the pumpkin, I'm using YR07 and YR04 as the lighter shade. And then for his pants, I'm using E37 along the edges, and then kind of an orangey brown color, E97 for the inside. And then for the candy, I'm just using some different shades, B21 and then YG11. And just finishing off a couple of spots that I missed. And after I finished the coloring, I took my mini snips and I fussy cut this out. Okay, now I'm moving on to the image that I'm going to use for my second card. I layered the spider to hang off of the spider web in the top corner, and I put the sentiment just creeping it real toward the bottom. I made sure that it was no more than 3.5 inches tall so that I could cut it out using the rectangle piece from the Celebrate frame die set. And since the pattern paper that I'm using for this particular card is ivory, I didn't want this piece to be white, so here I'm taking my Copic marker color E30 to color over this entire panel. So this is the pattern paper that I'm using with this. So now I'm taking some navy chalk ink and I'm applying it along the edges. What I'm trying to do here is pull in some of those colors in this pattern paper. And I thought it needed a little bit more after applying this blue color, so I decided to take a finger dauber and apply some of that orangey burgundy color as well. And I'm just kind of blending it all the way around and making it an ombre effect toward the center. I don't know if you can hear that snoring in the background, but my husband's asleep over in the chair. He says, I don't hear a thing. Of course he doesn't hear anything when he's asleep. But I'll add a little bit of background music so maybe you won't be able to hear it. But I think it's pretty funny. Now for my card base, I'm using Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock, and I'm cutting it long ways at 4 1/4 inches to make a top folding card base. And then next I'm taking some Cajun Craze cardstock and cutting a layer to measure 4 by 5 1/4. Now for the pattern paper, I want to make sure that the little images of Drake and Frankie are going to be able to show around that rectangle piece when I put this together. And so I'm cutting this piece to be 2 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And then for the other piece of pattern paper, I'm going to use that orangey plaid color there, and I'm going to cut a strip to measure 1 by 5 inches. So here I'm just trying not to cut off the heads of Drake and Frankie. For this cardstock strip that covers up the seam, I'm using the Celebrate ribbon die to cut out that scallop strip. I scored my card base at 5.5 inches and assembled the card using some liquid glue. I can't talk today. I'm struggling trying to get my husband to be quiet enough for me to do my voiceover. Unfortunately, that my other room, I have hardwood floors and it echoes really bad, so I have to try to do my voiceovers in my living room where there's carpet, and it's Saturday and he's in here and making all kinds of noises. But anyway, here I'm just assembling the card, and I cut off that little ice cream cone so that it wouldn't stick out on the side once I glue down this rectangle piece. For this scallop strip here that I just glued down, I didn't want it to go past that colored frame since my card base is white, so I just snipped off the ends. And then to finish off the card, I fussy cut out 3 of those digital black bats that I printed out earlier, and then I popped these up on the side where the cake embellishment is on the sketch, and I popped these up using some foam squares. Actually, these are foam circles. And then I added some Nuvo Crystal Drops in Morning Dew to the eyes of the bats. This dries clear and just adds a little bit of shine. And then next I'm adding some black rhinestones to the top of the spider web, and then next to the sentiment. And this finishes off the first card. So for the second card, I'm using a piece of navy cardstock, and I'm cutting this down to the same as before, 4 by 5 1/4 inches for my frame or layer. And I'm using the blue plaid pattern paper for the rectangle piece on top and for the 1-inch strip on the right. So here I'm just trimming off the ends that didn't print very good on my printer. And then for the big piece of pattern paper that I'm going to use on the left-hand side, I decided to use the skulls with the bats on that green background. And so this piece I cut down to 2 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Now before gluing down the top plaid layer, I took the burgundy chalk ink and I applied it along the edges just to hide that white. And then same as before, I popped up the bats using some foam circles. I wanted to make this a wobbler card, so I applied an action wobbler piece to the back of Frankie. Here you can see it's kind of like a little spring, so whenever you flick it, he'll move back and forth. But when I applied it the first time, he was a little crooked, so I had to take it off and try to fix it. Now to finish off this card, I applied some Nouveau crystal drops to his eyes and also to his tongue and to the candy. And watch right here, I put my finger right in where I just applied it to put the crystal drops on his boots. But that's okay, I was able to salvage it. I just added a little bit more. So he's got some shiny candy in his bucket. And so this finishes off card number 2. I think both of these cards turned out really cute. I hope this video inspires you to join in on the sketch challenge and get creative. Don't forget to join the TLC Designs Creative Sharing Group on Facebook if you're not already a member. The link is in the description box below. Again, you have until September 30th to post your photos to enter the challenge. And the winner will be announced in that Facebook group, so make sure once you join, you turn on the notifications. I look forward to seeing what you all create. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.